Hello everyone, this is your boy Ryan, and today I wanted to make another short video again since GGG just revealed all the Ascendancy choices and their full skill tree for each of the 12 available Ascendancies. We will again be discussing Ascendancies that benefit a Minion playstyle. Keep in mind that these are not build guides and we do not have any information on how in-game mechanics work for anything, and everything I say here is based on past experience of playing Path of Exile and general behavior and assumptions of skills displayed in official reveals. It is literally impossible to make guides without playtesting extensively since the game is gigantic. Now, as I said in my last video, my hunch was correct in terms of how Ascendancies would play out when it comes to PoE 2, and all Ascendancies do not cater to any certain build style but instead provide general utility and characteristics or thematic boost for each class. Thus, we are not locked into a certain Ascendancies for minions or in general any build in the game. And there are a wide variety of choices when it comes to any skill that you choose to play. I can confidently say that the Witch will now be the best class as a minion starter though, since it's the most accessible early on and we do not have to min-max to the extreme even early game in PoE. While Mercenary in the form of Gemling Legionnaire will be absolutely cracked with min-max gear and optimized passive tree, and Chronomancer on the other hand is the absolute bomb of an Ascendancy and probably is now my new favorite Ascendancy to play with. With that said, let's look into the two primary Ascendancy forms of the Witch, the Infernalist and the Blood Mage, and the playstyles they can bring onto the table. So first of all, we have the Infernalist as our first Ascendancy choice for the minions. For the Infernalist, we have our Loyal Hellhound, this Ascendancy over here. We can take this as our first Ascendancy point and it will summon a Loyal Hellhound that's going to deal damage. You can support it with support gems and make it a defense skill or a damage skill for yourself. This is also going to act as a tanking option because it will absorb 20% of the damage from hits taken from your Hellhound's life first instead of you. So this is 20% damage negation as long as the Hellhound is on the field. This is great Ascendancy option. For the next Ascendancy option, we want this one, the Altered Flesh. This alternates damage taken from cold damage taken as fire and lightning damage taken as fire, as well as physical damage taken as chaos. So as long as we can stack up more and more fire damage mitigation and maximum fire resistance, as well as chaos damage mitigation as chaos res, we will have a lot of defense. So this Ascendancy, this point over here as our second, really strong. Third Ascendancy, we have the Bedat's Will. This is also a late game Ascendancy of sort because it reserves 25% of our life. This one over here. So in late game or later portion of the game, like 50 plus 60 plus levels, when we have a lot of life and we can reserve like 25% of our life to gain more maximum spirit, which allows us to reserve again more auras and activate more auras, maybe summon more minions, give us more damage boost for the minions as well. And as for the final Ascendancy, I think Bedat's Hand will be the best one if you choose to, because the other ones, while good, we don't really have any more Ascendancy points to go for. Demonic Possession is bugged for all minion style gameplay, so this is out of the question. And in Bedat's Gaze and Bedat's Hand, I think the hand is better because it gives us more maximum energy shield, which means more defense. So I think this is going to be the best suited option for Ascendancy as the last one, or our fourth and final lab, or not lab but final trial rather. So this is going to be the Infernalist, full on damage and full on utility in terms of defensive mechanisms. We do have some stuff over here that will play into a very tanky character, but we do need to mess with a lot of crafting and optimized skill tree. So I think this is going to be my second option in terms of Ascendancy choice when it comes to a minion playstyle. And with that, let's go take a look at the Blood Mage. Okay, so Blood Mage is a bit different. This does not provide any sort of minion related stats or any minion summoning whatsoever. Instead, what it does is it provides massive defensive boost, a really good chunk of offensive boost as well. For the Ascendancy of Blood Mage, we don't really get any benefit after like the first trial. We need to have at least second trial to get the Ascendancy get going. So in that regard, I will hold off to ascending in the first place for a while, because the first Ascendancy point you are gonna have to, we are forced into taking this Sanguimancy, which makes it that skills gain a base life cost equal to base mana cost, and early game spending life as well as mana is going to be a very hard thing to do. So we're gonna skip the ascending part for until we can get into a later portion of the game, like let's say level 40 at least before ascending, and we can at least do 2 trials in succession, so to get the full benefits of being a blood mage. So the first point that you have to spend in this one, Sanguimancy, so this is gonna give us the blood orbs that we can pick up to overcap our life into at least full double or 2x HP, which is very good, but we do need to invest into life regen first in order to make this really worth it. So next point, the next ascendancy that we want is this one, number 7, grasping wounds. This one makes it so that 25% life loss from hits is prevented, and then that much life is lost over 4 seconds. This is basically Progenesis in an Ascendancy. The Progenesis flask from PoE 1 did the same thing, and it needed it needed flask charge. Now we don't need flask charge, you just get it. This is extremely powerful. If we can get life recoup, let's say like 30% life recoup from our gear, this thing completely obsoletes like 25% life loss from hits. Like you're gonna lose life, and then you're gonna lose that life over 3 seconds or 4 seconds, and during that 4 seconds the life recoup occurs and you basically negate all the damage that you get. So this one is very powerful for a minion playstyle. For our third ascendancy, I am looking into this one, number 3, open source. Your curses have infinite duration. I think in PoE 2 curses have changed and now they have a different mechanic. I think they last very short time, and they have like, I believe from what was shown, I believe that they have number of instances of how many times an enemy can take a cursed damage, or rather boosted damage when you curse them. I think this will solve all the problems, so we can curse an enemy and our minions can hit them as much as they want. So this is going to be again a very powerful node. And for our last ascendancy or fourth trial, we're looking into this one, the Crimson Power. This makes it so that energy shield gained from equipped body armor, you gain that much energy shield as extra maximum life as well. So let's say if we craft our body armor with at least like 300 or 400 ES, we're gonna get that 400 as an extra maximum life as well. Life sources in PoE is now limited, or PoE 2 rather is limited. You don't get that much life from passive tree, so it's all from gear, and this is going to complement having a high amount of life. Now this also relates to this one, the number 1 ascendancy, because you can overflow on your amount of life. So if you have a high amount of life, let's say in the end game you have like 3500 or 4000 life, and you can then overflow with life remnants into like 8000 life, which is going to be absolutely busted. And that's why I think Blood Mage is my number 1 choice when it comes to minions. So because this provides enough damage boost, and not damage boost but enough defense boost for us to stay alive, while we can focus entirely on the minions themselves. Now, as I said in the beginning, both ascendancies will work fine in terms of minion style gameplay, but will provide different utility boost. Infernalist allows for more minion summons at the cost of lower defense, but then makes up for it by having alternate damage taken as mechanics that, combined with gearing, will result in a top-notch tanky character, while Blood Mage will provide utility in terms of petrified blood style damage mitigation and a very high HP pool. My personal choice for the first playthrough will definitely be the Blood Mage, but I will definitely play the other classes like a degenerate that I am. With that said, the game is yours to explore. Play whatever you prefer that looks good to you, and in other words of Jonathan, everything in the game has potential and you just need to find it. But whatever you do, make sure to stay sane, Exile.